You are tuned in to Kids
In the pit.
Hey guys, it's Gabe from the Kids in the Pit podcast. Today I'm joined by Mike Hartsfield from New Age Records. Nice to meet you, Mike, and thanks for chatting with me.
Nice to meet you too, and thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, uh, thanks for being on.
Sure.
Yep. So you're the first owner of a record label I've interviewed, but I've interviewed people from bands that are on your label. I've interviewed Greg from Trial pretty early on, and I also interviewed Keith from Maniac.
Hmm.
At Fest in Gainesville, Florida, me and Keith Freeman played a ton of like Pokemon Go, and
Oh,
we
that's rad.
we both play Pokemon Go. So, yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, when did New Age Records start, and how old were you?
It started in 1988. The first band recorded kind of at the end of 87. So, I mean, it was being talked about in 87. So I guess that's probably really the start date. The first release came out in 1988, and I was at the in 1987. I was 17, so 17 turning 18. So I was probably 18 by the time the first record was recorded.
Nice. Do you remember what band it was?
Yeah, it was a band from here called Walk Proud, and
Nice.
they had recorded an LP and were looking for a label, and I stepped in like, oh, maybe I could do something with it. And so they were like, okay, great, but we're not going to use that recording because there were some technical issues. I guess there was a bunch of static while they were recording that nobody noticed until the record was mixed. So they ended up re-recording 5 of the songs, and then that's what we put out as the first EP.
Nice. Where did New Age Records start, and do you still live there?
No, it actually started at my parents' house in a town out here called Big Bear, which is actually a place in California that it snows. A lot of people don't know it, but it has a full winter season of icy roads and snow and all that kind of stuff. But so we started in Big Bear in 1987, 88, and then I moved from there early 90s, and then for the most part, it's always been in Orange County, uh, California. So
Yes.
handful
Um,
of houses here.
so there's a town here in Delaware, close to us, like 20 minutes away, called Bear. So
Uh-huh.
probably because California's bigger.
Yeah, and probably for some sort of tourist reasons or marketing or merchandise or something, they probably figured it out.
Yep. So my dad used to play in a band on your label, The Dividing Line.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool that they were on.
Yeah, yeah. A super random story is I saw there was a clip that went kind of viral with, I'm sure you've probably seen it, with Casey the vocalist. It was a show and he was very out of breath, and he said, wow, I'm fat, but at least I'm still straight edged.
Oh
And
yeah, I know it.
I remember I saw that and I was like, who is this guy? Who is this band? And then I found out who they were, and I messaged him and I'm like, oh, you guys probably already have a label. And he was like, no, we don't. Like, what do you want to do? And so that's as quick, it was quick of discovery and a deal that just,
Yep.
happened upon a random email.
So didn't he like say it like I think it was on Hate 56 or something, and didn't he say it like away from the mic and like it picked it up or something?
Yeah, yeah. It was a very candid moment of comedy and reality put together. And you don't get to see a lot of those things, being that everything is very staged, and make sure you get this on camera. And the fact that it was off camera and 856 had really like kind of zoomed in on it and picked it up was really interesting, I thought. I think Casey doesn't like the clip after all these years, but um I think we criticize ourselves a lot for the things we say and do in the moment. And it's what brought me to those guys, and being a fat guy who is still straight edge, I definitely bonded with them immediately.
That's awesome. Um, yeah, that I've always I haven't known that story for very long, but I think my dad said it or something. And think we were in the car or something, and he told me, but yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the clip went viral. I know a lot of people had seen it.
Yep. Also, Casey is a dad now. His wife they just had a baby now, so it's cool.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So my dad said you also played in like some bands. What bands have you been in, and what did you do in the bands? And are you in any current bands? That was like four questions,
Uh,
but
yes. I played in Strife for a while. I played in a band called Outspoken. There was a band called Drift Again. Uh, you're now testing my memory. Even though you sent me these earlier, I still could have brushed up on it. I was in a band called the Suppression Swing, and it's always been another band called N Swell, and it's usually been guitar or bass, never vocals, thankfully. I did play drums in one band. And the band I started in 1988 with a group of guys called Free Will is a band that I still play with.
oh, you were
Um,
in that band.
yeah, yeah, we started in 87, like the label, 87, 88. And we were done by like 1989. And then we started playing again in like 2016, I want to say. And
Wait, that was the band you said was first on New Age, right?
no, the band first on New Age was Walk Proud.
Oh, for some reason they
Yeah.
have stuff because they're like both two one syllable words.
Yeah. Yeah, that was yeah, that was I'm getting confused. Yeah, so Free Will is the band that I am still currently playing in, the only band.
Nice. So what are some current bands on New Age Records that people should check out live?
Ooh, right now, well, check out digitally and live. There's More Law, there's Life Force. I wish the Dividing Line was still playing shows, but we can
Yeah.
wish. um, Life Force, who did I do? Life Force, More Law. You're catching me off guard here. I'm totally drawing a blank. Darisum from California. Uh, Back to Godhead, also from California. They all have stuff digitally you can check out and listen to now. I wish Maniac was still around. They were super, super good. But that's kind of the gist of it. I think we have a few things we're announcing soon uh, for some new bands doing stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it as we get into the new year and announce some new stuff.
Nice. Sometimes I'll play guitar for my dad's newer band, Thought Control. I'll just
Mm-hmm.
fill in if someone can't play guitar or bass, usually.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Or sometimes they'll just let me play it. They'll just have three guitarists.
Oh, that's awesome too. Can you play the whole set?
Yeah, I know the whole set, and I know lead for two songs.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I
And how
just
old are you?
12.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. I'll have my mom send you some of the videos. I've played with
Oh,
them.
super cool.
So I've played with them three times in the full set, one on bass and two on guitar. But back in like I think July or something, I played with them in Roanoke, Virginia. And I just did the end of one song.
Hmm.
Yep. It was really fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Are,
thanks.
are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's great. It's really fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, thanks. So what are some bands on New Age Well, this is like the follow up to the other question, but what are some bands on New Age Records that aren't still active that people should check out recorded?
Well, there's a lot of bands in the early '90s that we put out that are like older releases that we don't really promote anymore. But I mean, there's like Outspoken, Unbroken, Lifetime, Resurrection, Mouthpiece. Of course, like you mentioned, Greg Bennick, his band Trial.
Yep.
That's a lot of the highlights. Mouthpiece, if I maybe already said. Um, that's a big bunch of the early '90s stuff that we put out.
Yeah, nice. So thing about Lifetime, I don't know any songs, but Dan Neiman's other band, Pan of Black, I love Pan of Black.
Oh
We
yeah.
saw them earlier this month at the church in Philly. It was
Uh-huh.
really we saw
Yeah,
it
band's
was
amazing.
like a record release show for the new record.
Hmm.
I staged over a few times. It was fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that was just a really awesome show. Uh, it wasn't that packed. Like, it wasn't that crazy too. Surprisingly, it wasn't that packed because it's a Pan of Black home show. Like, it makes sense. It
Mhm.
would Sunday night. Sunday Sunday night was even less packed than Saturday. So they were both kind of not packed, but it was still. It was. Nah, I can't speak right now. It was really cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So what was the first punk, metal, or hardcore show you attended, and how old were you?
The first show I ever attended was a heavy metal show that was in 1982. So I think I was probably 13, somewhere in that range. It was a band called the Scorpions, who you may have heard of, and another band
I
called
think I
Iron
have.
Maiden.
Oh, yep, Iron Man. Definitely heard of them.
Yeah, that was the first concert I ever went to. That was a heavy metal concert, and then that was probably the start of probably 3 or 4 years of mostly heavy metal shows, and then which got into punk and hardcore after that.
Nice. So you were 13. So my dad was -3. So you're 10 years older than him.
That makes me feel old. Thank you.
Well, he's not. I mean, so wait, 16 years older? Oh, yeah, I messed up the numbers.
I am 54 right now, so if that tells
Oh,
you
yeah,
anything.
so 16 years older. I messed up the
Yeah, I think
math.
he's 38.
Oh, yeah. You think he's your
I
husband?
should know. How old are you? Are you 38?
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite bands to listen to recorded, and what are some of your favorite bands to see live?
Well, most of my favorite bands are a thing of the past. And for bands to see live, I don't really partake in that much current music. Um, and I'm old and grumpy, so those things kind of don't mix very well. But I mean, I go to a handful of shows a year, and it's usually bands of people I know or bands associated with the record label in some way. But as far as bands to listen to, uh, most of the classics, of course, but especially bands like Verbal Assault and the Cro-Mags and stuff like that.
Oh,
Which I guess I could see the Cro-Mags if they come to town, um, but a
wait,
lot of things like
so is it the Chromax or Chromax Jam? Because now they're like two bands, right?
I think the Cro-Mags JM Jam thing or whatever, I think that's done with. I think there's now just one of the guys doing the
Oh,
Cro-Mag.
maybe. Because like a year ago, we were at Tompkins Square Park. Um,
Right.
oh, 2 years, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but um, uh, Chromax Jam was there.
Hmm.
Also Madball. So we just went there to go hang out, and there were a few bands there that we liked. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah, it was cool. So what is your favorite place you've toured in?
Definitely Europe. A band I played in called A18 or Amendment 18 toured Europe twice, and it was just super, super cool. And I went to Europe with Strife also and Outspoken once. And that might be it. Yeah, it's easily my favorite place as far as like a big space, and as far as a time set aside to tour, Europe is easily my favorite.
Nice. So what is your favorite type of food from another country?
Ooh, I would have to say Italian food, of course.
Nice. Italy has like probably the best food in the world, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I
Like
think so.
they just are. It's so. I've only had American Italian food. But I've never been to Italy.
Hmm.
But my dad's side is Italian, so we eat Italian food a lot.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
I have.
like
Okay.
Italian food is just like so diverse. There's like lasagna, there's pizza, there's Alfredo, like chicken Alfredo. There's spaghetti. There's all this crazy stuff. If you don't like one, try another.
That's true. Yeah. The best Italian food I ever had was in France, believe it or not.
Oh wow. Well, maybe go try a baguette in Italy.
Yeah, yeah, I'll have to go back.
Yeah. So what is your favorite TV show when you were my age?
Oh gosh, there might be a tie. I'll give you two. There was a show called Land of the Lost that was like a morning show for kids on the weekends. That was about this family that was stranded and they they end up getting chased around by dinosaurs.
Jeez.
That would be one, and then probably my second and probably all-time favorite show is one called Three's Company.
Nice. I've never heard of either, but I'll check them out.
Okay.
So, what's an animal you choose to scale up to the size of a horse if they like couldn't kill or eat you?
A cat. Yeah.
Cat.
Easy, easy.
But if they were able to kill or eat you, that would be a bad idea.
That would be terrible because I don't think I'd
'Cause,
really catch the vibes of them. I'd be trying to pet them while they're trying to eat me. So
yeah, cats are still like sometimes they'd be fun. You could ride it or something, but it's gonna kill you.
yeah, yeah. The claws I bet are just a bad element to be mixing in with scaling up to size.
And also teeth. That's a bad idea.
Yes.
So, if you could tell your 12-year-old self anything at all, what would you tell him?
Oh gosh. There's such a list. I'm not sure. Gosh, if it would be one thing. Um, Probably finishing college would probably have been a good one. Um, I think that would have saved a lot of problems for me anyway. Yeah, to stay in school and finish it up.
The thing is, if you did go to college, you might have gotten like a normal job and not started New Age Records.
That's true, but then maybe I wouldn't be in debt like I am. So it's a give and take.
True. But so anything to add before we wrap it up?
No, this has been super fun, and I really appreciate someone your age talking to someone my age. I think there's a lot of information to be traded and a lot to be learned.
Yeah, it's fun. So thanks to Mike for joining me today, and thanks to all of you for watching or listening. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Spotify and other streaming platforms. Until next week, bye.
Thanks, you guys.